On our way back to Washington from Oklahoma, Leilani and I stopped in Tennessee. We ran out of gas, my bad, and had to walk to a gas station. It was a 40-minute walk to get there and another 40 minutes back, so it was pretty dark by the time we were on our way back to the car. We could see the car in the distance when a figure stepped out onto the road in front of us. From the distance it was at, all we could tell was that it was an unusually tall man wearing an old-fashioned stovepipe hat. Leilani and I were giggling about the idea of running into Abraham Lincoln on the road when we realized how wrong the shadow in front of us was. It was at least 7 feet tall, the arms were too long, and it seemed to be moving in an unnatural way. We stopped, hoping the shadow would stop too, but it continued to approach. There was nowhere for us to go. We didn't think we could outrun whatever it was if we turned back towards the gas station, but we also didn't like the idea of trying to run past it to the car, and we didn't feel safe stepping off the road to get away. Before long, the shadow was right in front of us, a giant dark figure leaning over us menacingly. It wore a gray button-down shirt tucked into gray pants, which were in turn tucked into brown boots. The most disturbing part was its face. The figure had large eyes and no mouth, and it looked down at us with malice. It swayed back and forth like a tree in the wind, craning its head slowly down to look at us. While its eyes were filled with a strangely malicious energy, it didn't seem aggressive. It reminded me of a person crying in public, the way their face seems to go from grief to anger the longer people just pass them by, with no concern for their well-being. Leilani reached over and grabbed my hand and said, "Excuse us." She took a step forward and the figure raised both arms, holding them out straight. Hanging from each arm were several bodies, each one attached to the arm with a noose around its neck. From the mouth of one body came a man's voice, dark and raspy but somehow almost musical, that said,
"You have nowhere to go."
Leilani tilted her head stubbornly. "Yes, we do, back to our car." It's hard to make a list of expressions without a mouth, but the creature in front of us seemed briefly taken aback by Leilani's decisive answer. It leaned closer and another corpse opened its mouth to speak, voice rasping in a hypnotizing lilt.
"There is no purpose in leaving me behind. I am the inevitable. I'll make the decision to follow me."
I felt a chill shake my spine and the creature made eye contact with me. In its eyes I saw tragic life after tragic life, each one ending on this road with this creature. It sighed sadly, and all the heads nodded at me. Another dead mouth opened to speak.
"You see the truth in my words. You see that the only release from sorrow is death. There is nothing to fight against when the fight is already lost. You have been losing for so long. Allow me to take your burden away."
Every moment I had felt like giving up came crashing down on me like a wave. A secret fight I had refused to share with even my closest friends. Staring into the figure's pale eyes, I did feel like I was fighting against the inevitable. I noticed something I hadn't seen previously, an already tied noose dangling from its left hand. It held the noose out to me, and another mouth opened. This time it spoke gently. "Why wait any longer? You can be released now. Released from the fear and shame. The pain and suffering of your life can come to an end." I could vaguely feel Leilani tugging on my hand, but it was like a tunnel was forming around me. All other thoughts were cut off. I could only see and hear what was right in front of me. The mouths all smiled, and the creature held its arms out as if for a hug. "You can join me. We will walk from this place together. You will find eternal companions with us." Then Leilani spoke, shattering the darkness. "I'm so sorry that was your experience, and I'm sorry for all the people who agreed with you." She squeezed my hand. "But there is help. There's no shame in asking for it, and I hope you can find rest. I wish we could help you." She looked at me. "But we can only help each other." The creature let its arms fall to its sides as all the malice left its eyes. It looked at Leilani for a long moment. It vanished, and I burst into tears. Leilani and I stood on the road for a long time, holding each other and talking. We had been planning on finding a hotel, but decided to drive for a while longer so we could talk. Leilani asked questions, and I answered all of them honestly, feeling like we were doing surgery on a part of myself that had been fighting an infection for a long time.